Another day, another press briefing. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Lysandra, and I watch the press briefings so you don't have to. And boy, did the worst person you know's favorite press secretary have a lot to say today. We started with Texas. She said that, we're working on it, and it was an act of God, and we're hand in glove. A lot of hand references, which goes right into what I said about President Trump having his big, huge hands around Texas in prayer. She did say that everybody's praying for it. Unfortunately, falsehoods, the media blaming Trump, obviously gross. We did nothing wrong. Focus on recovery, and everyone who's focusing on politics is wrong. Clearly, she doesn't remember how they focused on politics during the California wildfires, but okay. She went on to say that tonight Netanyahu's going to be coming, and it's private. Guys, they're allowed to have a private dinner, and why are you guys talking about Gaza? There's other things to talk about. Gross. She went on to say 700,000 jobs have been added since January for American-born citizens. Activist judges are going to be putting together common sense policies, getting men out of women's sports, of course. Thank you for saying that right up top. And then when adjusted for inflation, we have the lowest gas prices. And then Mr. Marjorie Taylor Greene is in the new media seat today. What a treat. Mr. Where's your suit? He basically spoon-fed her a question so she could say, he said, why do you think the media is blaming all of this Texas stuff on Trump? What? And then she goes on to say that this is not Trump's fault. It's an act of God. They had record-breaking lead times, overstaffed with 11 forecasters, and that all of this is super transparent, and they should just stop politicizing it. She said to stop politicizing it. Then she showed a photo with the 12 letters for the countries, and there's the transparency will be shown on Truth Social. Keep your eyes on Truth Social because everything will be posted on there, obviously, as that's how countries do work. Truth Social. And this is where it gets really frustrating, as if this hasn't already been frustrating. We call on Democrats to cool it, essentially. AOC should meet with border and patrol agents. Anyone who has this administration is committed to holding anybody accountable who has ever committed a crime. They will be held accountable by this administration, unless you're January 6th or the president or anybody that has anything to do with them. Yeah. And then she was like, and that's on transparency. But then Peter asked, hey, Pam Bondi commented, I'll just play the clip.
This systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Go ahead. John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and
I'm sorry I made you listen to her, but I felt that it was important for you to see the redirection. Because then she went on to ensure that Pam Bondi's putting bad people in jail, and then she pivoted to the summer heat program. Then somebody asked if the 90 deals in 90 days is a failure because President Trump didn't do that. And she said, no, we are doing what's best for the American people. So absolutely not a failure. Lol. The flood was an act of God, which, yeah. But so were the wildfires in California. But somehow that was Joe Biden's fault. And then she just kept iterating that President Trump is for peace, that she doesn't want to get ahead of the president, and talking about a bunch of things. And then why are you guys keep focusing on Gaza? You guys are obsessed with Gaza. Literally, there's so much for him to talk to Netanyahu about, and it's private. They're allowed to have a private dinner. Anyway, that's what you missed on this latest episode of the last season of America.